is, of course, a repetition from last term. Yeah, okay, and now I'm recording. Am I? Let me see. Am I sharing? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now I'm sharing the play and I'm recording. Okay. So I was saying about the question of naming and unnaming and the unnameable. I think, as I said, Samuel Beckett wrote a great novel called The Unnameable in his trilogy. He wrote Beckett wrote a lot of stuff. Samuel Beckett, I know if you have, I think some of you studied modern drama. Some of you studied this maybe with Dr. Gerard. I don't know if you did, or somebody else. I don't know. Samuel Beckett, the novel, the play called Waiting for Godot, or Godot, or Godot. I'm not sure about how the French pronounce it, because it's written originally in French. And Beckett was also, I think he was a very great novelist as well. His trilogy called Molloy, The Unnameable, The Unnameable, and the other one called Malone Dies. 3 titles, Molloy, and you notice here the names, Molloy, that's the name of the novel and the character, and Malone Dies, and The Unnameable. And even if you look at those names and the other title, it's a trilogy, it's a volume of 3 novels in one big volume. It's really an amazing, massive novel, which is again, or I should say novels really. It's a trilogy, I say. Trilogy, 3 novels. And the title, when you say Unnameable, and I think Saadallah Wannous, to be honest, he was in France, and he lived in France, and he wrote in France, and he must have been influenced by Beckett and people like him. I'm sure, because Beckett, he was writing at the same time. Beckett, I think, only died, I'm not sure when it was. I must check his date, but it should be around 2000 something, either maybe 2 years after or 2 years earlier. I'm not sure. I will check the date, exact date. But Saadallah Wannous, whether he likes it or not, whether he admits it or not, he must have been influenced by Beckett and by the school of, as I say, the thinking of absurdism. And that's why later on we shall see again in Yerma, also Lorca did the same thing. He will give you woman number 1, woman number 2, woman number 3, first woman, first washer, second, fifth, etc., etc. I mean, say, why? You know, why not giving them names? Again, to say here, you know, this is the amazing things to do by the rejection of the social attitude, the political attitude, the whole question of existence, that, you know, if you like, how we feel that we are really rejected and dejected, and people sometimes are left to die, to rot, without any care, without any really respect, and so on. Really, in some way, of course, this is the idea. Of course, the play originally is translated it's translated by one of my absolutely respected professors, my professor of drama, who, let me show you his name if it's mentioned. Yeah, look at the last page here, translated by Ghassan Maleh and Christopher Tingley. Ghassan al-Maleh, he was my professor at Damascus University. He taught me modern drama ages ago. Well, nearly now, nearly ages, I should say. Yeah, it's actually 41, 42 years ago. Ghassan al-Maleh was my professor of drama at Damascus University, and he was such a great professor. I will never forget him, really. He was an amazing man, really. And Ghassan was also a professor of literature at Damascus University, and he was also the dean of the College of Arts and Drama School, through which all these actors you see today, if you know any Syrian actors today, you know, those people like, you know, Ayman Zidan, or all this big, well, I don't know if you think of them as big names, or I don't care, but most of the dramatists you find today, or actors or actresses you find today in Syrian drama, they are graduated from that school, from that college, and it was headed by Dr. Ghassan al-Maleh. I think he was a great man in my view. And this is his translation, of course, with the help of Christopher Tingley as an Englishman. And the idea really, he is using Christopher Tingley to help in the way, for example, you know, no matter how much you are strong, for example, in any language, you need a native speaker sometimes to help in some way or another about formulating or maybe saying something. I don't know, but this is to me, I think this is the feeling. Ghassan did a great job in the translation. And I think, to be honest, I have not read the play in Arabic. Anybody read it in Arabic?
No.
والله يا دكتور شكلك طماع يا دكتور، طماع. يعني احنا يا دوب قرأناها في الانجليش، تبغانا نقراها في العربي؟ No.
Well, it will be easier in Arabic, Doctor.
Sorry?
It will be much easier in Arabic, Doctor. We'll finish it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying, to be honest with you, I have not read it in Arabic. Really, I have not. I have watched it, but I have not read it on paper. But what I want to say, I've read it here in English and I loved it. Really, I thought, wow, it's really great. You understand, Maythan? And that's what I mean. And the title in Arabic, do you know the title in Arabic?
Doctor, I have read it in Arabic, but the first page only. And it was, the title is different.
And what do you think of the title in Arabic?
Much better.
Yeah, very good. I like that. Yes, Azza, I wanted to say this. In Arabic it says, Al-Fil ya Malik al-Zaman. Al-Fil ya Malik al-Zaman. Wow.
It's much better than the English.
Yeah, but why Ghassan did not translate it into this the same? Because at the end he said it. At the end he translated it as it is, but the title, he did not keep the title as it is, Al-Fil ya Malik al-Zaman. Because look here, they say to him all the time, oh, king of all time. Oh, king of all time. Isn't it? The elephant, oh, king of all time, isn't it? So why didn't Ghassan say the same thing? Instead, he said the kings, as the title, as you can see, the king's elephant. Filul Malik. Fil al-Malik. Yeah. Do you think this is more attractive to English people? People will understand it more, or maybe will receive it more? Here I'm talking about translation. Why Ghassan and the other guy, Timothy or Tingley, said, you know, this choice? I think this is an interesting question, really. Instead of saying, oh, you know, king of all time, Ya Malik al-Zaman, Al-Fil ya Malik. الفيل موتنا يا ملك تعال دخيل ربك يا الله فينك يا ملك. Isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, really here the play is saying this, but of course in a different way, isn't it? And as I said, I think in Arabic is, to some extent, I think it was really powerful, really very powerful. But I think to an Englishman, as I said, to me when I read it, when I'm reading it here in English, also I think it had this, I think I felt the same, nearly the same effect of being a powerful text, you know? Because here when you say, you know, the first say, you know, Al-Fil ya Malik al-Zaman, Ya Allah, Ya, isn't it? You know, notice, God have mercy on us. You know, God have mercy. Allah, Allah تخرجنا, Allah تراعينا. You know, do you say the word here in Oman? Azza.
Yes, doctor.
Do you say the same word in Saudi? They say Allah تخرجنا.
No, I think it's different.
Do you know, you say, they say it, I was really, we don't say it in Arabic, but I learned this from Saudi. They say, Allah kharijna, Allah kharijna. What's that in Oman?
We said Allah yansurna in Oman.
Allah yansurna.
Yes.
I mean, like in a normal speech, or like
Allah يساعدنا, maybe?
Yeah, نحن in Syria we say Allah يساعدنا.
We say it too.
We say Allah يا رب دخيلك, Allah يساعد يا رب, يا رب تساعدنا. But the Saudis really
or maybe Allah يعيننا.
Allah يعيننا, أيوة, yes, we say Allah يعيننا, يا رب تساعدنا, يا رب تعيننا, المعين يا رب. But the Saudis are funny, they say Allah يخارجنا. Really, it was so funny, and I loved it. I use the term these days with my friends, and we laugh about it, the way they say it. Allah kharijna. Okay, so this is really, look here, the play starts with this, Allah kharijna, Ya Rabb al-Mu'in, Ya Rabb, isn't it? Notice, he disappears down the other end of the alley. Notice here they say man. Man. What man? Any man. Here I'm reading the play, okay? I've started reading the play. Please, you can see my screen, correct?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah. So here notice, yeah, very good. The voices grow louder coming from behind the houses downright. The cries and laments of the women die down to be replaced by a distant buzzing which continues to the end of the scene. A man comes from the left and walks toward the right, to be met in the middle by a man coming from the direction of the buzzing. Again, his steps are heavy and he looks anxious and disturbed. Again, man one, stopping the other man. Is it true then? Man two, God help this, God help his mother. Allah يساعد والدته, Allah يساعد أمه. Allah يعين أمه. You wouldn't wish a death like that on your worst enemy. Yeah, I think this is really, now we can translate in our mind how the word maybe could be said in Arabic, isn't it? Which is really lovely, the way it's said here. You wouldn't wish a death like that on your worst enemy. Again, man one, may God have mercy on us. Where did it happen? Just outside Ahmed's shop. There are always children there. Where, sorry, man, again, were you there? Two more men enter. Again, who's sending or calling, or I don't know. Okay. Put this. Okay, so yeah, where are we? Yeah. Again, you can see here people asking and participating in this carry on about it. Man 2 again, I got there just after it happened. I heard cries fit to break the hardest heart, and I ran up to see what the matter was. God help his mother. Let me take this phone away from here. Yeah, okay. So again, as I said, as what was mentioned by other, I think, Maha, about the naming, no names except Zakaria, you know, no names. Later on, of course, maybe we'll mention this again. So you can see here the introduction about what happened and how this elephant killed this boy. Again, notice here, I got there just after it happened. I heard cries fit to break the hardest heart, and I ran up to see what the matter was. God help his mother. Man 3, you are right. It would break the hardest heart. The child just ended up a mass of flesh and blood. It trod on his chest. No, a bit lower down. I saw his stomach burst open. His guts were all mixed with the dirt and dust of the road. Oh God, God forgive us all. God forgive us all. This is, I think, the Saudi phrase, Allah kharijna. And again here, the 4 men, along with others who soon joined them, gather in the alley again. Man 3, I tell you, you would never have known he had been a boy at all. Just a mass of crushed flesh and blood. God help us. My head keeps spinning every time I think of it. You see here, the people are talking about this dead body of this boy who was killed by the elephant. The elephant just tread over him, you know, and killed it immediately because, you know, a big elephant and a tiny boy, you know, a small boy, even if he's 10 years or 4 or 5 or even 13, you could be killed by an elephant if an elephant, you know, trampled on you, you know, God forbid, of course. And here they say, you know, he was absolutely crushed, flesh and blood. Again, you know, just a mass of crushed flesh and blood. God help us all. May my head keep spinning every time I think of it. Again, God help his mother. Man 3, did you ever see an egg smash on the ground? That's how he looked. Flesh and blood spattered or splattered all over the alley. You know, the alley, which is a small, tiny road or tiny street. We call this alley, you know. And I think here in Oman, you use the word zaqaq a lot. And I think this is, or sometimes you say sikka. When I was, even here, you know, everywhere in Muscat, I noticed the word, they write the word sikka. which is like an alley or a little road. Yeah. So here it's, remember, this is supposed to be a village or a town, you know, a town, a small town, or it's not clear really, a big city or a small city, but that's not important. But it's the idea to say it's a town and the townspeople. Again, a fifth man enters, man 4. Well, what are you waiting for? A beautiful little child crushed by that huge elephant of the kings. God have mercy on us, I say. So here we have somebody saying, well, why don't we do something? Why are we gathering here and we are not saying, we are not doing anything? Man 5, so it was the elephant, again, as if in a question, although they know. So it was the elephant, you know, as if again the elephant. The wailing of a bereaved woman is heard from the beyond the houses. You know, even I think there's, do you say the word wail in Oman? Zainab.
It's nahib, the same.
No. Do you say ya waili ya shahari?
No.
Ya waili ya ta'tir ya shahari ana. Do you say that?
No, we don't.
You don't say ya waili. Well. You don't say that?
No.
You know, some people say ya well. No?
Yes, they say this.
But what's well? What does it mean?
Wail, I think.
Sorry? What?
Waily? Well, I don't know.
Well, when you say you will.
Maybe ويل مختصرة.
مختصرة لإيش؟
ويل well.
Yeah.
Doctor,
Yeah.
it means something bigger happened.
I know, but we use the word in Arabic, al-wayl, isn't it? Even in classical Arabic, at-tahwil, we say tahwil, and we say wail. Al-waylat, we use the word even al-waylat. It's classical Arabic, really. We say al-waylu.
In Saudi Arabia, they say Ya wail hali.
Sorry?
In Saudi Arabia, they say Ya wail hali.
Ya wail hal.
Yes.
Yeah. But in Syria, I said in Syria we are funny. They say ya shahari ya ta'tiri.
What does that mean, doctor?
Yeah.
That's totally different.
Yeah, we say shahari. I don't know what's shahari, really. You know shahari and shahar, you know the word shahar and shahari?
No.
Yeah. And ta'tir, I think you know ta'tir. Ta'tir means absolute poor and poverty and strickenness, and you know. But shahar really is to do with the soot. You know soot? When you have like a smoke coming out of a chimney, as if to say ya shahari means ya sawad wajhi. Ya waili wa ta'tir ya sawad wajhi.
Okay, that's clear now.
Yeah. Really, shahar is the soot which comes out of a chimney, which will make you absolutely dirty and dark and filthy, and it's like this, you know, burnt carbon, you know, like the carbon which comes out of the car engine or exhaust or from factories. We call this soot or shahar or shahwar sometimes. You know, in Syria we have funny. Sometimes we use funny language. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm teaching you today both Arabic and English, which is funny. But anyway, really here, the word whale in English is the same in Arabic. That's what I'm trying to say to you here. Wailing, really wailing here, we say walwala. And sometimes we say yawliya, and we say, Egyptians, we say yawliya. Yawliya means a girl or a woman who's always wailing. اللي بتولول يعني. الولية التي تولول. Isn't it? So really the word here is like exactly in Arabic, say wail means who's absolutely crying and, you know, feeling absolutely miserable and sad and crying, blah, 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 blah. Because the word here, bereaved, means absolutely sad. Man 3, we couldn't tell who he was at first. We couldn't tell who he was at first. All the children were out playing in the alley. People came running almost beside themselves with fear. They were all thinking of their own children. And of course, as if the boy was killed, that nobody knew, because there were kids playing in the alley, in the street, in this little neighborhood. Al-Fahad's house was the one picked out. God grant then, I think should be here, God grant them strength and patience. It should be them really here, not then. I think there's a printing error here. It should be grant them strength and patience, means to the Fahd family. Man 1, there is in the middle of the alley in front of everyone. How could it happen? What a question. That elephant? The boys were playing in the alley. Then from nowhere up came the elephant. He trampled or trumpeted the way he always does. Then he charged, and the boys panicked and ran off in all directions. But Al-Fahad's son tripped and fell and was just too terrified to get up again. The elephant rushed up to him and trampled him. Why is he saying he for the elephant? Huh?
Maybe to show that he is not just an elephant. He is more than elephant.
Maybe because the king owns him, so he's showing respect, maybe.
Maybe it's the king's bit.
Yeah.
Doctor,
Yeah.
maybe to minimize him.
To
minimize the elephant.
Minimize.
Yes.
Well, I mean, most of what you said is possible, but mostly I think, I don't know. Do you have pets at home? Do you keep pets?
Yes.
No,
Yeah. What kind of pets, if you keep pets?
Cat.
Cats
Yeah.
or dogs.
Cats or dogs? Here in villages or in the city? Yeah, really, if you have if you have a pet, normally, because it's a pet animal, normally pets are, if you like, liked or respected or taken care of as I don't
Doctor,
know.
they are حيوانات أليفة, but the elephant is حيوان وحشي.
Zainab,
It's not a pet. It's an
Zainab,
animal. Yes.
Yeah, Zainab, I like that. Yeah. نحن حيوانات أليفة. Yeah.
A cat won't kill a human.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but do you have, you know, in the village, anybody live in the countryside and you have cows and sheep and goats and horses and donkeys? Boys? Well, I don't have a boy. I have only one boy here. Girls, do you live in the countryside?
Yes, doctor.
We have chicken.
Chicken?
Yes.
That's not enough. Chicken, they don't kill anybody.
We have goats and camels.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, sometimes camels can be dangerous, isn't it?
Yes, that's true.
Yes. If you annoy him or her.
If you annoy a camel, yeah, yeah, which is really funny, isn't it? Absolutely. I've heard many stories about camels in Saudi. You know, I was in Saudi for 15 years. I learned a lot about things about the Saudi society and, you know, about this society in like, you know, which is different from Syria, really, very different, very different. The mentality, the way they say things and the way they consider matters sometimes. You know, once one of our doctors, you know, he was a friend of ours in the department. You know, honestly, he spoke to us really in a real sense. And he said, you know, he said, you know, he said, we practice the policy of camels in this in this area here. I said, what? He said, yeah. He said, we practice, literally, that's his word. I said, oh, wow. Yeah, well, yeah. Anyway, so the idea really I want to say here that the elephant, because it's a pet and because it's the king's elephant, so therefore must be addressed as he. You know, if you call for a dog or for a horse in England or in America or in Western society, in many Western societies, horses and dogs are never called it. They always give them names, man's names, really. Really, it's a man's name they give you, they gave them. And if you say it, they will not be happy with you. So yeah, that's the idea here I'm saying, which is really funny. But that's it. Here, they use the same thing to say he, because it's the king's elephant. And it's the pet, and the king likes it. Well, I say it likes him, the elephant. And, you know, at the end of the day, we shall see, because that's why nobody dares to say, as if to say, you know, he is absolutely spoiled by the king. يعني هو الولد المدلل. Allah. MashaAllah. You understand? So really, this is the idea here. And Sa'dallah Wannus was an amazing man to use this in a funny way, really, later on. Notice two women enter again the same thing. Here, Manwan, God have mercy on us, again, you know, repeating the same thing, repeating the same thing. Again, poor woman, it breaks your heart to hear her weeping. Again, man too. The child was crushed and the elephant just went on as if nothing had happened. Again, women too, tearfully. God help her. She seems out of her mind. The men were terrified. No one moved until the elephant had gone away. Again, the two women and the little girl join the men's group. It begins to look like a mass gathering. You know, people are gathering, crowd of people, you know, جمهور من الناس أو جمهرة, or as I say, حشد من البشر. Okay, you know, here you say a mass of people. Again, man 3 sighing, you know, don't you? Again, man 2 and man 3 or man 4 again. We know, all right, the king's elephant. Again, yeah, that elephant. There is a pause. The atmosphere is one of panic-stricken fear. Girl, but why did the elephant tread on him, mother? Anybody would like to give me, those who read the play, anybody would like to give me an idea or a little comment on the girl here, this little girl? Azza?
I think the children are more smarter and aware than the adults.
Mm-hmm. Can you say more? What do you mean?
I think children are innocent, like they don't know the rules of the country, and they are asked questions more than adult.
And do you remember at the end of the play, who was speaking, Azza or who?
She wanted to,
Yeah, Zainab, yeah?
and her mother put her hand on her mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I think the children are innocent and they say the truth.
Exactly.
But the adults were like, no.
Because remember, this little girl, she was among the people coming to the king, and she was the only one wanted to speak, and she half spoken a word, and her mother,
Her mother shushed her.
Don't speak.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Doctor, she's the one who wanted to go call her father, I think.
She was the one who wanted to tell the king the truth, and her mother, you know, smothered her and shut her mouth up. Means be quiet. And the girl was surprised. Why? Why are you shutting me down? Why are you here then? You came to tell the truth. You came to say that to the king. And here, this little girl, she is the only one who knows the truth. She knows like everybody else. She knows the truth like everybody else. Everybody in the whole town, they know the truth. The whole truth. Nobody was able to open his mouth or her mouth except this little girl, and her mother really killed her. I mean, shot her up immediately. And that's important. I will come to this point later on, okay? So that's why I want you to pay attention to this girl. Here, her first question: why did the elephant tread on him, mother? Notice the woman, she said, who knows, child? He was unlucky, that's all. Woman 2, oh, God help us. A woman comes to quail her son indoors, and what does she find? A boy or a body to be picked up in bits from the road. Man 2, a tragedy like that would move a mountain. Will they punish him? Punish who? The elephant. Again, look at the sensible questions by the girl, the good questions by the girl. Will they punish him? And she said, the elephant. course. The people all shake their heads, meaning, no, 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 no. No way, no way, nobody. Man 4 and man 5 and man 6 or man 20, I don't know. They said, punish him. Huh? What? What? Punish him? Man 2, who dare punish the king's elephant? An old woman enters, wailing and beating her breast with her hands. Woman 3, God help us, God help us all. If you keep your child right there inside your own eyes, you can't be sure he's safe. Man 2, nothing is safe anymore. Woman 1, they trample children in the streets and no one dares speak out. Man 3, man 4, speak out, speak out. Your life isn't safe anymore. Your life isn't safe anymore, or your livelihood either. Man 3, and no one dares say anything. Man 3, man 5, man 20, I don't know. Say something. Say something. Huh? The women are going off their heads, shaking their heads. Or sorry, man 2 again shaking his head, as if you can say something just like that. Man 4, she doesn't know what she is asking. Man 3 again, it's the king's elephant, woman. How do you say this in Ya Zainab? Or I say to anybody of you, how do you say this in Oman, in Omani Arabic?
يا حرمة.
Huh?
يا حرمة.
Very good. Yeah. Yeah. It's the king's elephant, woman. How do you say it in Indian Arabic or Bengali Arabic? Anybody? Can you imitate an Indian or Bengali Arabic man saying it? Huh? Any actors here? Nobody acting? Nobody? Maybe you are embarrassed. I will tell you how. Any ideas? You're not going to say it. You say, it's the king's elephant, Ya Hurma. Ya Hurma.
Yes, correct.
Ya Hurma. فينك يا هرمة?
Doctor, you're so funny.
Yeah, really, I've heard it many times. I've heard it many times in Saudi. They say, Ya Hurma. What do you mean, Ya Hurma? Yeah, really, this is it. Again, when you say it like that, you don't show respect to this Hurma. Or you say, as if you say, shut up, Ya Hurma. Huh? And really, this is the idea, to say, come on, woman, you know it's the king's elephant, for God's sake. A 6-man enters and joins the others. Woman 1, woman 2, in flat voices. Yes, it's the king's elephant. God have mercy on us. They will bury him without the proper ablutions. Woman 3, weeping. You know ablution, dead bodies, normally people, when they die, they wash them, the last wash, before burying them. And again, you can see the same thing here. Poor child. Is there enough of him left to be washed anyway? A child like that doesn't need to be cleansed. It's the cleanness, again, it's the cleanness of the spirit that matters. He was like fresh picked jasmine, just 7. So he's only 7. And he's just like, notice here, fresh picked jasmine. كالياسمينة كزهرة الياسمين المقطوفة الآن قطفتها الآن and is dead. Fresh picked jasmine, just 7 years old, gone without seeing anything of the world. يا عيني ما شافش من الدنيا يا حسرتي. Huh? Isn't it? Oh, the poor mothers again. Oh, the poor mothers. Will they put him in a coffin, mother? Look again, the girl asking. Will they put him in a coffin, mother, the way they did with my aunt? Look at the girl's really lovely questions and sensible questions. Woman again asking, God protect you from evil, child. What made you think of her now? More men and women enter. Girl again, but the coffin is big. Again, here the girl is surprised to say, we don't have coffins small enough for babies like that. Normally coffins are about the size of maybe 170 meters or 170 centimeters, 170 centimeters or 180 centimeters. Not tiny for babies, you know. So that's why the girl was surprised. And women here again saying, you are never safe. You are never safe. Man 3, stop that blubbering woman. I've seen a lot of elephants in my time. Every king's had one. Really here has had one. Every king has had one. Okay? But I've never seen an elephant as vicious and arrogant as this one. Again, man 8. Every day brings some new misery, all brought by this elephant. You know, as if to say they are really sad and giving details about this misery and all this carry on. And again, you can see here, careful what you say. Hey, be careful. Man 4, man 5, you know, saying to him, come on, man, you should be careful what you are saying. And he said, it's the king's elephant, man 7, and the king loves his elephant. Woman 3, sobbing, what about us? Don't we love our children? Woman 4, may God carry me off before they are harmed, any of them. You know, sometimes, yeah, I mean, people and children and fathers and parents, and, you know, it's very hard to lose your children, really. And here the woman is saying, you know, I don't want to see my children dying before me. I'd rather die first. I don't want to see them dead, my children. And really, this is the idea, because there's a play, again, I think, there's a lovely play, I think, I don't know, again, if you have taught this again in modern drama, those of you who did modern drama, there's a play, I think, again, it's something like that. A woman who lost five, or I think 3 of her children and her husband and the father of the husband, and I think 5 or 6 men of the were killed by the sea. And the play was called Riders to the Sea by John Millington Synge and by the Irishman. And I think it's a lovely a lovely play called, as I said, by the Irish great writer, really, John Millington Synge. And that play called Riders to the Sea, where the mother loses all her children to the sea. They were killed by the sea. They travel at the sea because, you see, they live in a village in an island in Ireland. Anybody knows the play? Anybody? Yeah, nobody.
Yes,
Okay.
Doctor, it was a choice in the plays list to be that we choose from to write a term paper about, but we didn't study it.
Yeah. Oh, it's a lovely play. It's tiny one, it's small one, and it's really very revealing. It's a lovely play. I always teach it to my students. When I teach that course, I taught that course twice here in Oman, but in Syria and in Saudi, I taught it many times. Really, it's a lovely play, very strong. And here, really, it says, you know, normally mothers don't like to bury their children, for God's sake. It's very hard for you as a mother to bury your own children, you know. So that's why here the character is saying here, may God carry me off before they are harmed, any of them. How, again, the girl again, but why does the king love a vicious elephant mother? Look again, the good question by the girl. Why does the king love a vicious elephant mother? You know, Ya Ammi, she's asking her mother. And the woman said, who knows, child? Again, God, what have we done to deserve all this? We are never free of trials. They infest our houses like rats. I don't know really the word. I don't know what is the word in Arabic here. I wish that I have the original in Arabic to see, because the word infest here, I like this word. Do you know, anybody has the Arabic text? They infest our houses like rats. Do you know the word infest here? Huh?
No, doctor.
How do you translate it? Do you know?
يتفشى.
يتفشى. Yeah. يتفشى.
Maybe.
Sorry?
يغزو.
يغزو. Here we are never free of trials, which means يعني, we are always tested by, because he said, God, what have we done to deserve all this? يا ربي ماذا فعلنا؟ يعني نحن دائما في امتحان، تمتحنا يا رب دائما، يا رب دخيلك، احنا وش عاملين؟ ها؟ تبتلينا في البلاوي. Trials, really, بلوى, isn't it? We are never free of trials, يعني بلاوي or امتحان. نحن نمتحن, isn't it? نمتحن by God, isn't it? And here they infest. They means trials. Infest our houses like rats. I will look to see what Saadallah said in Arabic, but I like it.
Doctor, I have the Arabic one.
Do you?
Yes, like تعشش في ديارنا كالفئران.
والله برافو عليك. والله I don't know the Arabic version. And I was going to say, if Saadallah didn't say تعشعشوا, I will be angry. because this is the word. تعشعش في ديارنا كالفئران. نعم. Really? Who said this?
Me.
Shahd. Very good, yeah, Shahd. Shahd, who said that?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah, very good. I'll give you 1 extra mark because, yeah, I felt happy because I thought, because this is the good word, تعشعش. يعشعش. You know العش. You know?
Yes, related to the birds.
Yeah. Nests, birds, yes. Yeah, birds build nests. And يعشعش, really to make nests, to nestle here, or as he said, infest. But the word infest means negative. تعشعش مشان الأذى وليس مشان شيء كويس. لأنه infest فيها ضرر. You understand? That's why Saadallah used it, Wannus used it in a good way like this, or I think Dr. Al-Malih used the word in a very good way here. He used the word infest. They infest our houses like rats. Yeah. And Zakaria again here, enter the Zakaria. I think I'll stop here and I will continue next time. Please, boys and girls, please finish this for next time, please, so we can discuss it next week. Any question, anything?
No, doctor, thank you.
Doctor,
Huh?
I have 2 questions.
Okay.